Hi. I don't know if you can hear the music in the background. Thea's practicing. It's so nice to live with a musician, with a couple of musicians. So lovely. So I just wanted to come on. I was listening to this beautiful song by Too Attached by Vivek Shraya band. This beautiful song that I've talked about before called Love Is Not Love. And there's this haunting line in the chorus where Vivek says, I don't know if it's the chorus, I'm not a musician, but in this part of the song, then she says, if I disappear, come find me. And I've been thinking about that so much, given everything that's happened this week. I was thinking back in 16, 17, I was a pre-reader for Catherine Hernandez's book Crosshairs, where there's, a lot of the events that we're seeing happening in that book, and this was before some of the things that we're currently seeing happening, because of course this was just 10 years ago or whatever. But in that book, when I was reading it, I remember thinking, because it was set in Ontario, and I was just like, wow, this is I love how artists are able to help us to practice the future, and so to have been thinking about that. But anyway, so then to think of this line, if I disappear, come find me, it's just so profound. And I think that part of how we organize and stay strong and stay together right now is to remember we can do this. Assata said, we will win. We will win our liberation. We have to believe that we can win, otherwise we're whipped before we start. That's what she says. So we, of course, have already always continued to be organizing together, connecting together, working together, building new futures together, and we'll continue to do that. So there's this idea of the irresistibility of this revolutionary moment that we find ourselves in, where we, I think, are all really feeling this call that there's profound work that needs to be done, and we're the ones that are going to have to do it. So we have this moment of irresistibility, of getting involved. Thank you to the artists who are helping us to make these irresistible revolutions. But now is a moment to organize. Now is a moment to get together offline. Gathering online is important too. Don't do sensitive or delicate digital security type organizing on these apps, because we're all being surveilled. But organizing, coming together, being in safe spaces, remembering the things that we already know to be true, that we've already been practicing. We don't talk to cops, we don't talk to ICE. We know that there's these things happening here in Northern Turtle Island in Canada. We know that there was a Nazi party here in Canada that supposedly broke up in the late 70s, but we know fascism has continued here. We know that our right-wing prime ministerial hopeful has similar ties and interests to what's happening in the South with Trump, and we already know that. We know the way that our premier, the way that Ford is putting forth very similar ideas, and than what we're seeing in some of the fascism spreading across our news feeds. That's the other thing, is we just kind of have to turn away a little bit from the screen here and there, because what we're getting right now is a heavy stream of propaganda from media that's designed to make us really scared, and just like these things are fait accompli, like these things are just already done, and already there's nothing much we can do. And it's so disingenuous to the organizing that's already happening, and it's so disingenuous to the truth, which is that of course we absolutely can rise up, and that we absolutely can take our world back, and we can save ourselves, and we can save this planet so that we don't all die in a fiery place. We absolutely can do it. It's ridiculous to think that we couldn't. There's 8 billion of us. So yeah, now is the time to plant seeds. So I guess I'm saying quite literally, maybe, you know, now it's really cold here in the part of Turtle Island that I'm in, but you know, now's the time to get some seeds or get some seedlings and like quite literally start digging in the dirt. You know, put your hands in some soil this week if you can. You know, get a small bag of soil from the corner store and a little pot, you know, and a little, you know, a sunflower seed, you know, and just put your hands in that soil. You know, really touch the mycelial network that connects all living beings across this planet that's in that soil. You know, these are acts of healing. These are acts of ritual and ceremony of us coming together. We can like remember that we're connected with the land and that the land is an ally and co-conspirator in this fight for justice, climate justice, black justice, trans justice, migrant justice. You know, we're in this together. This is a return to ourselves in this moment, returning. You know, I was saying in a video I posted earlier in the week about Sheesh talking about lying on the ground about it, but like we literally can just go, you know, when it's a bit warmer out and just lie on the ground or hug a tree or like quite literally touch into creation, you know, other living beings and connect. It's hard with so much just constant onslaught of the news of these executive orders that Trump is signing, the things that are happening in other parts of the world that are connected to U.S. imperialism, stuff that's happening in the UK, stuff that's happening all over. It's really quite stressful, and the media is going to, you know, they're controlled by a very small handful of people who have vested interest in selling you the story and, you know, like extra, read all about it kind of situation. So they're going to make pretty sensationalized stories. And, you know, it doesn't really help us, you know. So thinking about like, we already know that they're Nazis. We know that they're not Nazis. We know that there's Nazis here. We knew that they were Nazis before. We didn't need to see the salutes to know that. And we don't need to subject ourselves to watching Elon Musk do Nazi salutes over and over again, and we don't need to see it over and over again. And in the same way that we didn't need to see, or we don't need to make ourselves watch the Black Death spectacle and all of the Black stuff videos of the police, you know, killing Black people, and we saw that so much of that posted and over and over and over again. And there's a certain point where you have to kind of ask, like, why am I watching this, or like, why am I tapping into this? You know, what is it doing for me? But we do need to see each other. We do need to connect and see each other and be connected. And I love being able to share space with you all, because we get to come together in these moments and just be like, you know, connected, to remind ourselves together our possibilities for survival, to remind each other together that we love each other, and to remind each other that we're going to survive this together, that we will survive this, right? So we have this opportunity to do this together. So today, one of the things that you might do after you've planted your plant or planted your seed or put your fingers in the soil is maybe to just record a short video. Just record a short video for your friends, for your kin, for your lovers, and for the future that maybe, you know, just imagines or dreams into what you're thinking about right now, or what you're on about, or where you want to meet if things get wild, where you're going to meet up. Maybe today is a day to write some poetry, to just start writing down words. Maybe set yourself a timeline and write a story or a poem that's set in the future or in the past or on a different planet, or where a certain set of conditions have been achieved. But, you know, just write and write and write. And if you get stuck, just write the word yes. Yes, 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 over and over and over again. Maybe today is a day where you start to draw and just pick up materials to make a mark and just start to doodle and start to play and just see what happens. We're all creative beings, all of us. And this idea that some people are artists and that other people aren't artists is tied to capitalism, and this idea of having to monetize all of our efforts and all of our skills. And it's actually really not useful. So we can kind of put aside whoever kindergarten teacher said, oh, you're not an artist, and just put that aside and just pick up something and make something today. You know, the videos that I make for you, they're so long, and, you know, like, I know you're not supposed to make long videos or whatever, but, I'm not really doing any of this based on what you're supposed to do. I just wanted you to know that I'm thinking of you, that I love you, that, we're gonna get through this, and that we have already been organized for the last 50 years, the last 100 years, the last 500 years. We are as organized as they are, if not more. There's that beautiful line from that Lao song, "It's not all we got, but they still can't figure that out." We are so much more organized, in fact, and we will continue to resist. Our resistance and our revolutionary strategy was never in a political party to be the one that was going to, cause transformation in our social world. We were going to do that. We take care of us. And so we're going to continue that. I'm supposed to be going to the U.S. in the summer for a big residency that I'm organizing in Southern Colorado, and I'm really looking forward to it. But now I'm wondering, is it going to be safe for me to travel as a trans person? It was already not safe for me to travel as a trans person to the state. There's been a travel advisory for a while, but really thinking about that. My family is, of course, all in the States, and I guess just coming back to what I started with this idea of what Vivek was singing in her song, where she says, if I disappear, come find me. And at the very least, in addition to organizing, in addition to putting your hand in the soil, in addition to writing love songs on the back of maple leaves, in addition to writing poetry and drawing today and tapping into your creative stuff as a way of resisting white supremacy and fascism and everything that said that you couldn't be a creative being and that you weren't part of building an irresistible revolution. We're going to turn all of that over today. But that in addition to all of that, we can commit to each other that if we disappear, we're going to come find each other. Okay, I love you.